Hello and welcome to the Brushless Slot Car Revolution. My name is Martin and I'm here to show you today how to convert a Talon 25 ESC from Castle Creations to a brushless slot car motor controller. First I'll show you what an ESC looks like before you update the firmware, and then I'll show you a video of how it functions after the firmware has been updated to the brushless slot car motor controller software. Let's get at it. This is a Talon 25 ESC in its original configuration. I'll apply power to it so you can see how it normally functions. The ESC will not provide power to the motor because it's still awaiting the pulse width modulation signal through the wire. Now I'll show you exactly what it does when you convert it to a brushless slot car motor controller. This Talon 25 has been converted to the brushless slot car motor controller firmware. You can see now that it applies direct power to the motor and doesn't require pulse width modulation input. This tutorial is going to show you how to convert a Talon 25 ESC into a brushless slot car motor controller. You're going to need a Talon 25 ESC from Castle Creations. You're going to need a Castle Link data connector from Castle Creations. This will allow you to communicate with the processor inside the ESC, update the firmware to the brushless slot car motor controller software, and also allow you to change the settings once it's set up, and you can modify the performance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the web, and in the browser search bar we're going to type in Castle Link, and it brings up the Castle Link homepage, and you click on that, and now we're at the Castle Creation site. And we can scroll down for the Castle Link update files, and here's the Castle Link Classic. I would use this one. Go ahead and click this. You can see in the bottom left corner it does the download exe file. I click on there to raise it up and show open when done, so that way we can go ahead and start the install. Wants to know if you can do the changes. You say yes. Let it go ahead and download the files. You accept the licensing agreement. Click Next. Allow the CSV files. Click Next. Allow it to create its own folder. Have it put a application link on your desktop and one in your start menu programs, and then you install. And then we launch the Castle Link. Now, this ESC, as it is right now, has the ability to change all kinds of parameters in it, but right now it still requires a radio control function to make it work. So we're going to plug it in and I'll show you what that function looks like. So you take your ESC out of the package, and this is the data collection line right here. This is normally used by a radio control system so that you can control the amount of throttle that comes out of this, and it also is the data link that allows you to connect this to the software and alter it. The brown wire is the ground wire, the red wire is the positive, and the orange line is the data line. And you'll see those designations on this. So we're going to plug it in. It's going to recognize that it's there, like so. And now you can see that they have the throttle control, they have brakes, it has voltage cutoffs, motor parameters, then other stuff, and then software, and then it's got save and print. So these are not helpful right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, because this is still the original configuration of an ESC, and this is not going to help us. So you can't put this in a car in this state and have it actually run a brushless slot car. So we're going to close this, And now you'll need to go to Brushless Slot Car Racing, the YouTube channel, to download the software. We're going to go back into our browser again. And if you have a YouTube button already saved, go ahead and click on that. Otherwise, you have to type in the Google search for YouTube and go ahead and click on that. And bring it up. And we're going to search in the search bar for Brushless Slot Car Racing. We got that. Once you hit that, you'll see the page show up, Brushless Slot Car Racing. This video right here was the original, the tutorial that shows you how to convert a Talon 25 ESC into a brushless motor controller. And so we're going to go ahead and click on this one right here. I need you to go down to this section right here where it's got the views from 3 years ago. Click on that right there, and you'll be able to pull up the first link right here. It's Brushless Slot Car Motor Controller Software link. If you click on this, it'll open up a Google Drive. The first file right here is what you're looking for. You say it, if you can see this, it says Talon 25 Quick Auto Start Full Throttle Revision 2. And you're going to want to download this right here. It takes just a second to start the download. You'll see it in the bottom left corner of your screen. There it is. And I'm going to open when done. Okay, now it's open. So you need to do the extract to. You can do the extract to, and I'm going to set up a file on my desktop right now. So we're going to go to desktop, new folder, and we're going to call this Talon 25 Updater. And so now we know where to put it. We're putting it into the Talon 25 Updater. Now that we've exported the files to the Talon 25 Updater file, let's go ahead and close this down. And we'll see it on our desktop right here. We can open that. And then we'll open the file right here. And what you're looking for is the exe file. And let's see, the little one with the green gear right here is the one that's the Talon 25 Updater exe file. So you double click that, and it'll go ahead and install the program. Now that you click the exe file, what's going to happen is it's automatically going to start installing the software onto the ESC since it's still connected. We can watch it right now. You can see it's updating, which means it's cleared out the original firmware and it's starting to reinstall it. It's very important not to disconnect this while it's updating, otherwise it will brick the ESC. Now that the firmware is updated, we can go ahead and disconnect it and also close the program. You can't run the updater and the CastleLink software at the same time. Once this is closed, we can go ahead and open the CastleLink software. Now that the CastleLink's up, you can see that the USB is not connected and the device is not connected, so I'm going to go ahead and plug both of them into the Brushless Slot Car Motor Controller. And you can see that it automatically pops up that there's a newer version of the software available. It's kind of difficult to explain, but the original software was updated when we were doing testing for the road course slot car using this specific ESC. It turns out that there's a more viable option for that, but those don't have the controllability that we use this for in drag racing. So what we're going to do for right now is ignore this by hitting the X, and let's go ahead and open the system up to take a look at it. Right here you have the about that shows the Talon, shows the USB connected, shows the device connected. And then we switch to the throttle control. Throttle control should be set at 10, which is 100% of the throttle off the hit. And then the brake should be at 0. The cutoffs, this right here, you need to open this up and make sure that it goes to the lowest voltage possible.
and that will be 3 volts per cell right there, and then soft cutoff. And then we go to the motor, and the motor should be set at 100%. We're going to leave that at 100 right here, and the timing should be 5, which is the recommended, but you can change these depending. This right here is the direction. You can reverse the direction of the motor itself based on how you've connected it, because we know that brushless motors have 3 wires, and you can reverse any 2 of the wires to make the motor go backwards. Here's the pulse width modulation rate at 12 kilohertz. Let me show you where the software is right here. Right now we have the 4.99 version of the software on there, which shows here the current firmware. You can change it to the version 0.101, which is supposed to allow a lower voltage startup. Your result may vary. So right here is the save and print. So you can go ahead and change all these settings in here and then save them and print them to file. You can go ahead and update. And now your ESC is now updated with the latest settings. Now we're going to disconnect the brushless motor controller and go through the whole sequence again so you see the main screen where it asks you to update the software. So we're going to plug it back in now. And there's our message. So we're going to go ahead and click OK, because it's saying that there's another software available, so we'll click OK. And then we're going to go to software, and then we're going to click on the new version right here and click update. It says do not disconnect the device or power source until the update has been completed. Interrupting the update may permanently damage the device. This is true. If you disconnect this while it's updating, you can brick the ESC. And there we have it. The ESC is now updated with the newest firmware. So we'll go back through and check. We're still at 10, which is 100% off the hit. Brake is still 0%. The cutoff is now changed. You can see that it auto selects the 3 volts. There is nothing else you can do. 3 volts is absolutely as low as you can get. So it's lowered the low voltage cutoff as low as you can possibly get. So we'll go back and check the motor settings. They're still at motor start power at 100%. Timing is still 5. And of course you can switch the reverse to reverse the direction of your motor here. And you're still at 12 kilohertz as far as the pulse width modulation. And when we go to the software section, as you can see, this is the current firmware version 4.101, which is the latest firmware. This one again is supposed to lower the cutoff voltage. Your results may vary. Now that we've reviewed the settings, let's go ahead and save them back to the motor controller. And now we know that all the settings that we have chosen are now saved onto the brushless motor controller. And from this, you basically just disconnect and go racing. Thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. And let's keep the brushless revolution going. Have a great one.